Hey, welcome back to another episode from Lifeforlivingwell. My name is Richard. Before I dive into the topic for us this week, I'd like to quickly say if you like to know one or two things about Life for Living Well community, you can find it on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. Once again, my name is Richard, and the topic I have for us this week is what I call psychology of failure. So you wonder why psychology of failure, and you'll find out by the time we dive into the conversation. And if you have one or two questions that you wanted to contribute to this podcast or how we presented or this particular topic or any of our previous topics, you can drop me a line on our community website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. So there's a form say contact us. So if you just put your questions or your feedback or into it, I'm guaranteed that within 72 hours, someone will get back to you if I can do it personally directly by myself. And let's dive into it. So today, as I said, the topic of the podcast today is what I call psychology of failure. So, and we'll be taking, like we normally start our podcast, is to have one inspirational quote to throw into it and then build the context around that. So today is not different for what we've been doing for the last few months. And today we'll be taking from Napoleon Hill. So he put it this way: out of every adversity, there are seed of opportunity. So in life, you have experienced it yourself. If you are old enough, so you will have noticed and say that some of the things that you're so worried about, some of the things that you're so terrified about, they did not come to pass, they did not happen to you, and you overcome whatever challenges that come into your way. So let's dive into the podcast itself. Generally, people are attracted to success stories. Some individuals even go to the extra mile to impress those who are not initially impressed. So you can see this in our own behaviors where we meet new people even at work. We have a mask that cover us that they don't really see uh, reset. Someone I was listening to a life story testimony channel the other day, and this lady from Kenya was talking about adversity and difficulties and challenges in her family before she left Kenya to America. And when she was in America, she had the same adversity and challenges, but with the different skills, different challenges. But what I pick up from 2 hours life stories that she was sharing is how we can all self-sabotaging ourselves. So what does she did in this year? She found herself in the mix of people that can help her, but she just forgot her problem. She began to create a lot of falsehood of image that she didn't have. So she meet celebrity. She met Barack Obama. I think she said that she was volunteering for Barack Obama campaign team, and so many different celebrity comes there, and then Oprah Winfrey, Snoop Dogg, and all of those people comes here. So every time one of them meet, so even though she was sharing a shelter home, but shelter's place, I didn't know how shelter place looked like in the state, but according to her in that story, she was sharing shelter place. So she will leave in the morning, dress really well, and go to the volunteering center where they distribute the letters to the people that will support the campaign team. And anytime all the celebrity comes pop into the place, they will meet, they will appreciate the effort and hard work she's put in. And they will ask her, what do you do? And this woman will fabricated all kind of story of what she's doing, which is not actually true. This is the person that having a lot of issue with her immigration papers, and but she want to feel belong, so she used lies to equivalent the substance. And at the end of the day, so by the end of her story, she said the lesson she wanted to share with people is that don't hide for your suffering, don't hide for your pain. If you need the help, and ask, tell people, you never know who is capable to help you. So this was psychology of failure was always obvious. So when you accept your challenges, when you accept your limitation, you begin to walk toward it, you begin to seek for help where you can find the help. You no longer have a need to hide, to use lies, to live on a falsehood, to make yourself become what you are not. And a lot of people fall into these little traps of uh, the way I want people to see me rather than the way they are. Why do you think they do that? So that's the question. So one day I was at an allotment next to a woman plot, and her vegetables looked so appealing to the eyes. I wanted to know what her plot looked like and how much effort she had put into it to reach its current pleasant state. But I also wanted to know how she got there. What did it look like when she first acquired the plot? So these are the questions in my mind, and these are the things that actually motivate me to wanted to have a conversation with the lady. She then told me about the significant amount of work she had put in. One of them is removing the stubborn weeds, which took a lot of time, cultivating the ground so that it can meet up to the planting season, especially the kind of vegetable she want to plant, and spending 3 hours every 2 weeks to care for the vegetables so that she continued to work on it. But the amount of work she put on it now is less significant to the amount of it she put to it when she first acquired the land. The joy and the pride that she exhibited while recounting her story to me were evident, as well as how she shared the final product of her family. So not only for her, she shared with her family, she shared with some of her friends. According to what she told me, she shared with her colleagues. She described her sweet corn, the way it's crunchy when you bite it. So, and the smile on her wise aging face is so self-evident. Often society overpraises success while paying little or no attention to the hard work behind it. And an Olympic medalist is an individual who has put in a great deal of effort. Just imagine that when you watch Olympic on your screen and you see all these athletes all over the world that they were doing extraordinary thing that is beyond average person. Your average Joe might not be able to skating more than 10 times, but you said there's people skating 1,000 times in few minutes. So just imagine an Olympic medalist. You just see the medal that they put on their leg. You just see them swimming from one length of the pool to the another end, and they sang the national anthems. Just stop in a minute and imagine what kind of life this individual have. What is it that they've done to reach to that stage? An Olympic medalist is an individual who has put in a great deal of effort, such as practicing self-discipline, goal setting, even to extend self-motivation, because without this, you cannot always rely on external factors to motivate you. Long before they display 40 minutes to 2 hours section on our screens. So we only just see them for 40 minutes, maybe boxing or karate or swimming or running. You see them between 40 to 20-hour sessions that they involve in their activities that they register for. We are impatient normally when it comes to paying attention to failure. We quickly want to jump. We quickly want to forget about it. Yet failure often holds hidden wisdom and valuable lessons that attach to it, along the understanding we can derive from it. Personally, everything that some people admire about my life as a person, my personality, even my behavior to extent, these are the things that used to be difficult for me in the past. In fact, I've failed many times in the past with all those things. As a result of perpetual failures, a new person with a few admirable qualities emerge, along with a newfound knowledge about things I was previously ignorant of. So, what about you? What will you say about yourself? What is the area of your life that it could have been an opportunity to learn something about yourself, to learn something new, and acquire a new understanding of yourself or new way of doing things, and you embrace that thing into your life, that the people that used to know you, how you do things, begin to wonder that, oh my God, what happened to him? What happened to her? The new people admire the way you live your life. Psychological failure propels us higher and faster than when everything is going well. We learn minimum when everything is good, unless we are intentionally in our learning. If we just learn by accident, it's really tough to learn anything quicker when things are going well. You know how many people that search for narcissism on Google? It's a lot. And something that they all have in common is when the relationship is coming to the end, they begin to wonder, to want to know the person they've been spending half of their life with, the way he treated them. They wanted to know why. Nobody check their fiancé or fiancé or spouse when they're about to marry or they just got into a relationship. But they got into the Google and wanted to find out. But when we are in pain, when we are emotional pain, suffering pain, we wanted to know. People who people go on Google and searching narcissistic behavior, the trait. And something that's so common with people that do these searches is the people that are just in it at the moment or about to leave the relationship, and the way their partner or the person they've been spending their life with treated them. So, whereas if you embracing psychology of failure, you become to look into your experience as a school, as a place, as a point where you also have the opportunity to learn and grow. And the best way of doing this most time, you don't always have to be in crisis before you can learn. You can also learn by being intentional about it. There's also people that already be in that situation that you want to be with. So hardly can you do any new things now, but you can also have a different experience compared to people that previously have experienced it if you chose to learn from their experience. In life, almost everyone experiences both successes and failures, but how we react to them determine the benefits we acquire from those experiences. Jimmy Escalante stated, life is not about how many times you fall down. It is about how many times you get back up. It's absolutely true. In this particular podcast today, The psychology of failure is discussed as a process of learning from one's own failures as well as the failures of others. Life is too short. You will not live long enough to experience everything. You can experience a lot of things, but you cannot experience everything. So if you have to always rely on your own adversity to learn, your opportunity to grow in understanding and knowledge will be so limited. So you also have to embrace yourself to learn from other people's challenges, other people's failures. And the best you could do, especially that we are living in the age of social media, many people don't spend time with each other like used to be. And if you live in the Western world where everyone's for himself, you always thinking and taking care of yourself first, or with before thinking and worry about others people. It was even more difficult for you to create one-to-one relationship often, and you the friend that you meet in your social group in activities that you do are not really people that will provide this kind of experience for you. And I'm talking about the deeper friendship in another level, because now many people put all their relationship in social media. So you get connected by chatting with each other, sending a few texts to each other, and then that's it. And you focus on your own life. But the another better way of learning from other people's setback and challenges is to read their story, read their books. There's a lot of books around you. If you can't avoid to buy a book on Amazon, you are so blessed if you live in an area that have a public library. You can go to your library and pick a book, read their biography, read it, and then absorb the information and the lesson their adversary gave you. You will be surprised that one day you find yourself in that situation. You might just need to borrow two or three understanding from the book, and then it might make the only key that you need to unlock the door that is already locked. So many large and small industries embrace this concept. So they call it R&D, research and development. So which means that they are learning and they are developing based on more they understand, because the more you understand, then you no longer do things that doesn't work for you anymore. By Einstein said that it is sanity to do the same thing and expect something different. So, and when you begin to do R&D, when you begin to do research, and research is observing and learning and putting what you learn into practice. So, numerous research studies have compiled evidence that places R&D driven organization above the rest. So company that puts certain portion of their income to do R&D, they always thrive above I emerge in the market compared to those that didn't do anything like that. So by testing what works best in one sector and apply it to another struggling sector, positive result can be achieved. So as I'm bringing this podcast to the end, so lastly, the same approach can be applied to our interpersonal relationships. How? By creating room for learning and awareness of our thoughts and reactions. Sometimes most of us didn't know how we react to things. Only if you are intentional and being aware and recorded it, even by keeping a journal and wrote down why we react the way we react. Can any other way, better way, or healthy way, or productive way that we can react the same way? Even we have no idea what we are thinking. We just become autopilot. We're only mindful when people are speaking louder their thoughts on the road. You don't say, oh, maybe such a person have not taken their medication or is losing it. But we don't realize that millions of people do the same thing inward just because they didn't speak out. Only when you tap them, you realize that they are there, but they are not there. They're already in their head. So the challenge of this change is significant and should not be underestimated. Our attention span and resilience are weaker than we may imagine. So being intentional about it can help us stay on the new path. So psychology of failure is about embracing the opportunity, the negative and challenges experienced through to us, and grow from it. I hope this podcast helps someone. Until we meet again next week, please stay safe and have a wonderful week. Ciao.